Hello, guys. I'm Captain Foley, the emergency host hologram.
And I'm Connor Coggins. I'm real, but Stuart is out right now, so they'll activate the hologram and we're having a good old time.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, he's not as chatty, so I might have to cover this one. But we're talking about the sequel to A Fistful of Datas called A Lesserina Full of Rioses. Um,
Riosai. Riosai is the plural.
yeah, this is a scene that is fun. There's five Rioses in five different personalities.
This is my favorite scene of the whole episode. But yeah, it's great to see. We got the emergency engineering hologram named Ian. We got the
He's Scottish.
emergency. We got the emergency
Medical.
doctor.
Yep, medical.
We got the emergency tactical officer.
Yep, navigation.
And if you look at like emergency tactical hologram, Emmett, and their names kind of match up with their anagrams. Anyway,
Yeah.
got the emergency hospitality hologram,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got the emergency navigational hologram.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how she says, so he overlaid his personality on the five basic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
programs that came with the ship. Yeah, he claimed it was an accident, but he never went in and fixed it. I thought that was great. So yeah, I think this is a really neat idea for a ship. Although you should be able, I think each one can be different. You can, modify them as you need. But I think it's great.
Can you imagine, right? Each hologram is Janeway, is Chakotay, is Janeway, is Kirk, is Picard. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Legendary captains
Yeah,
package.
have
DLC.
Yeah, Bridge Crew DLC Captain's Pack. We said early on this is one of the best gimmicks. That it sounds like a gimmick on page, but it's been handled incredibly well and
Yeah.
deserves a big bit of credit. And I appreciate in this episode we learned the limit of it, which is five holograms. We've met them all. They didn't go too far with any of them, so I because they could. We joked before they could be emergency anything hologram, that it could just be a constant joke. But actually, no, they approached it very cleverly, and each one. I mean, the actor, come on, as Rios, he's fine to good to pretty good, but the range he's shown is real. They're all given time. They're all given unique vibes, and what makes me laugh even thinking about it now is the hospitality hologram, and you see why Rios hates him because he's like, so. Have you decided on the thing, Rafi? And it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
I said the same thing to Sylvia. I'm like, I absolutely love that line. First of all, that I fucking hate that hospitality program, or hologram. And then I'm like, I can see why now during this one, because he's like right in her face the whole time and
Doesn't
talking to her.
understand the interwovens of dealing with people, which is weird because the hospitality.
And he's kind of an arrogant version of Rios because he's like, I think it's better for him to talk to somebody that doesn't look exactly like him, even though much more well groomed. He's
Yep.
kind of got that snotty attitude.
It's
So
kind of the salesman, the I know best, the whatever. Which you did actually see the same fun in when he was setting up Picard's room, because he was, I even noticed at the time, very very close to Picard, lack of personal space. So that's been there from the start, and I appreciate that the tactical hologram is the most grumpy, and he says the least. Like that fits. He wasn't given very much, but that's very appropriate. But the
but always,
nice,
why does it always look like he's drunk and tired? Like I wouldn't want that for my tactical
well,
hologram.
because
Give that,
he hates war. He represents the I hate
I
the
guess.
violence that I saw. I mean, if you link it now into what we saw Rios do in Rios' backstory, it actually works even better now. Considering it's also he's let himself go with growing his hair, and so actually it fits very very well. He's the neuroses of that, whereas and it's nice to have the friendly ones then be so friendly to outweigh the other ones. Although I'll knock one point off for Rafi sitting in the captain's chair talking to clearly a different accented him, and him not
Yeah,
her not
I'm
noticing.
not
It's
noticing.
like you
Yeah,
understand that he's acting different, has a different accent. He's never sat in that chair once the entire show, and you're talking to, like, she was very stupid in that moment, because the audience got it within less than a second. So not a lot of points to her there, but the scene is so fun and great job for the
well,
actor.
yeah. And that being said, Raffi in this episode was great, especially in that
Yep,
scene where she's trying to put things together. When she's sober and in Starfleet mode, she's great. And I
basically
like the,
not
I,
basically all the backstory they gave her. Ignore it. She's great.
yeah, yeah. And I love the way that scene ends with, "That's not even a language."
Yeah, it
Anyway,
is. But she doesn't know how to. And also,
um,
I like the fact that they didn't overplay her either. Because she's not a counselor. She isn't the
yeah,
best of friends. Like when she tries to talk to Rios and he says "f off," she's like, "Okay, great."
Pissing off.
Then she walks in. Although I was convinced when she walks in, because she stopped herself from getting a wine, which is great. I love that the hospitality guy says you removed the override and then meta override.
Yeah.
Like the that's great. I love that idea. But I assumed as soon as she walked into Rios' room, she would get a big thing of booze and like down it and then move on. So I like that she got tea for. That was great. You know, she's passed these demons that were boring and unnecessary.
I don't think she'd be able to get one from even his replicator, because I think once you lock yourself out, it's voice command, right? So.
You think of any? Oh, okay. So just of her unit.
Yeah, because there's other replicators on the ship. She could have gone down to the galley and got some, right?
But it's the social pressure of being seen then to replicate alcohol. That's true. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah, I never thought that, but that would have been an interesting thing. Just take a swig of wine and be like, now we need to talk.
Because you went straight to it. So I was like, you know,
yeah.
And although that scene, I don't know about you, but was begging for flashbacks.
Oh, absolutely.
When he explains his past.
But then they would have had to show the interior of a starship. They would have had to show another captain with a uniform on.
Without a beard. Yeah, it would have been very expensive. But boy, as he's explaining it, you're just like, show, don't tell, show, don't tell, show, don't tell.
Well, see, they wouldn't have had to show him as young. They could have showed the scene through his eyes.
It's true.
Because it's a memory.
Or like the back of his head.
Yeah, something like that. Like there's ways they could have done it, but they didn't want to do the interior of a ship and all that jazz. So.
Which I get. I get. And this is, like I said, show, don't tell, and they told us. But his acting is so good that it takes away from the performance if you cut away, but it would have been a lot more visceral. But I can imagine that might be, if there's something larger here, that might be a later season thing, because that's obviously his trauma. That is just one bit of trauma in his life. Everything was great until that moment. Although, this isn't about the holograms, but for a second, I definitely get a sense that he was conspiracied out of Starfleet. Within 6 months he was out, not because he really had a break, but because he was like pushed into more of a break, and then, well, you were in this situation, let's get out. But that wasn't about the scene. But back to the scene though, it's a good scene. It's a good scene, done well conceived, and we've both been calling out there hasn't been as many holograms in the second half.
Yeah.
But that's good. Don't oversaturate, and then give us a crafted scene like that. Full marks.
No, it was well played, and I love how each of them has like a subtle character traits. And even when she says,
I think they're pretty distinct. I think they're actually pretty damn distinct. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how she says, 5 broken pieces of Captain Rios here. Like, this is a great counseling session. I would love to see 5 versions of, or 5 facets of my personality in one room, and just see what the conversation would be like. It's something that's a pretty intriguing concept. So,
and it's also fun how all of them have access to the same data bank, and none of them are actually copies of Rios. They just have access, like his, they're all ghosts, little parts of ghosts of Rios' brain, and so they all instinctively say something they know, but as soon as they think about it, they lose. Yeah, so that was really interesting. It's the echo of the engrams.
Yeah, I did expect there to be an emergency counseling hologram though, but I think that's kind of
the alcohol's that, Stuart.
Well, I guess. I mean, the ENH in like the first or second episode that we see Rios in, he's very much like a counselor with the way he's talking to him about Picard and stuff.
Oh, sure.
I think they all are kind of counselors in a way. As we said, different parts of his personality.
Except the hospitality.
Well, yeah, those are all the aspects of me I don't like.
Yeah.
But no, I thought there would have been probably more, but I'm really happy with the selection we got here, and the fact that it's a part of the programming of the ship. You just, when you buy the ship, you get to overlay whatever you want as far as, but I would have chose something different than myself.
And it's a very natural evolution of the, Starfleet built the medical, because that's the first biggest need of any ship is to heal. But once that tech has been developed, and I bet that's still baseline off Zinman's tech, just expand it to, you can now make your own holograms to help pilot a ship if you just want to be with yourself and such. But again, I give them real credit for not going overboard, because Discovery has a habit of jumping the shark. I mean, the fact they can build a time suit in one day with materials on a ship, it's just ridiculous stuff. Because this really kept it grounded and a very Star Trek level. So again, they kept themselves, they reeled themselves in, just enough. Just enough. And this episode was just enough. And if you want to support more episodes like this discussing little topics of this episode, this series, and of course more shows to come, as we do have many, many TV shows coming in the Trek world, so that's damn exciting. And you see our breakdowns every single week. We go in depth, and our full live reviews and live discussions where, you know, we can talk for a few minutes on this, but we love talking to a live chat room with people's opinions, thoughts, and ideas, and boy, that can generate some great stuff. And you guys can super chat in that to allow us to keep this show, this channel going. It's a great win-win for all of us. So please join those super chats many, many days a week if you want to help. Or other ways to help is Stuart.
Is me. I can help. No, is to hit like, share the video around, make sure you're subscribed, and also make sure you hit the notification icon and select all. But you can also join us on Patreon. Yep. You can join us on, head to trekyards.com and click the donate button, which is our PayPal. But if you don't want to do that necessarily, because that's too many steps, just the PayPal information is down in the description of every video as well. So lots of great ways to help us, plus the Teespring store and other good stuff. So join the fun. So yeah.
Of course, the free way is just liking, subscribing, commenting. Those all are great ways.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Kongs. Bye, guys.
Bye.